if there aren't a million reasons why I'm voting for Kamala, the fact that a bully is running on the other side is just one of a litany of reasons. And I can't even believe what he did at the cemetery. Really shouldn't even dignify it, but it's just another narcissistic example of why we shouldn't be voting for him, especially if you're in the middle. Those on the extremes are going to vote for him. But he's a bully, and I'm not going to allow anyone to bully me, my daughter, or anyone in this country if I have anything to say about it. Now, as far as the WNBA goes, shout out to my good friend, you know who you are. I don't do many videos on Instagram. I do mostly comments in the thousands, if not tens of thousands, literally, in the last 4 years. And I am in full support of all the amazing women in the WNBA, but this is my opinion, and this is the reality of the situation. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese absolutely bring eyeballs not only to just them, but to the entire league. That is a fact. The Olympics were the lowest rated Olympics for the women's basketball gold medal game since 2008. The 12 best players were not on that team. And those two would have globalized the sport in 1 month, similar to how Simone Biles globalized gymnastics. Simone Biles, speaking of which, who was at the Indiana Fever game yesterday in their upset over Connecticut, would not be at the game if it wasn't for Caitlin Clark. This allows Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese to raise awareness for past, like you, and current players that most would not care about, not just because people like me don't talk about them as much, but because there's a relatability issue. I have 27 years to stand on as to why there was no charter flights, as to why people didn't watch, why the games were at arenas of only 3,000, 4,000, and 5,000 people, and now they're in arenas of nearly 20,000 people, and why before Caitlin Clark was in the Final Four, there was 4.5 million people watching the women's Final Four. The first year she was in the Final Four, it was to 9.9 million, and then in her second year, it was almost 13 million. So the numbers don't lie. And if you want more eyeballs and more attention on the WNBA, then there needs to be better people at the table choosing the Olympic team and making decisions for the WNBA, because there's been a lot of missteps. And they're probably going to survive it, because Paige is coming next year, Juju's coming in 2 years, and those three are going to be on the Olympic team in 2028. But it was a major mistake not having them on the Olympic team, and the numbers continue to climb every single time those two play, which in turn helps past and current players. This is Hootie Hoo from the Sports Daily Podcast. I love the WNBA. I always have. I coached men for 15 years. I've been on the women's side for 18 years. But there are people that never cared about women's basketball that are now watching women's basketball because of two people. And that is a fact. So everyone needs to join the party. And some of the other narratives, like with Cheryl Swoops conveniently leaving out Caitlin Clark, as great of a player as she was, as a winner that she was, it is suspect at best, and it's not a good look. Whether she was just simply giving credit to the other women, or she, for whatever reason, left Caitlin Clark's name out. You can't do that. You just can't. If you're going to promote the sport and you're going to globalize the sport, you have to include the people that are rising the tide, and all ships rise when that happens. Till next time, much love. And again, I'll say this for the millionth time. A'ja Wilson is the MVP. Caitlin Clark might be one of the top 3 MVP candidates, the way she's playing and making everyone better, making her team better, most importantly. And I can't wait for the playoffs. And shout out to all the other amazing players that are having great seasons. Jewel, Arike, there's other amazing players. See you next time. Peace.